सर अमर मीन्स आर्मी मार्शल आर्ट्स रूटीन।
ओके, आर्मी मार्शल आर्ट्स।
अनआर्म्ड कॉम्बैट, जब भी कभी हमारे पास कोई हथियार ना हो तो हैंड टू हैंड फाइट में
गन नहीं हो। हाँ
आइए आपको
जी, दिखाइए।
सबसे पहले नाइफ की फाइटिंग दिखाएंगे कि अगर नाइफ के साथ फाइटिंग है, हमारे पास वेपन नहीं है, राइफल नहीं है, हमारे पास नाइफ हो सकता है।
हाँ।
फिर हो सकता है कि हमारे पास कभी संतरी हमें साइलेंट करने पड़ते हैं कि कई बार कुछ होता है हमें कहीं पे रेड प्लान करनी है, कोई ऐसा ऑपरेशन जाना है, दुश्मन के पास वेपन है, हमारे पास नहीं है, जहाँ हमें साइलेंटली किसी के ऊपर अटैक करना है, तो वो चीज़ दुश्मन के पास राइफल है, हमारे पास नहीं है, फिर उसको कैसे टैकल करना है, उस चीज़ का आप लोग
जी दिखाइए। ये लेफ्ट का हाथ यहाँ क्यों होता है?
लेफ्ट का हमारी डिफेंस के लिए होता है।
अच्छा, डिफेंस के लिए।
ओनली कि हम वी आर अटैकिंग एट समवन कैन हिट अस,
One hand is defending
we
also.
use for defense and with the other we attack.
राइट। ओके।
Hello and welcome. You're watching India Global. I'm Gauri Dwivedi. The next 30 minutes, we get you all the stories that matter and most importantly, a deep dive into what's happening around India's neighborhood with the present volatility in Nepal. Let's first get you the headlines and that big story, we decode that for you. Youth toppled Nepal Prime Minister Oli's government. Nepal Army Chief appeals for talks even as curfew remains on the streets of Nepal. What happens next? India Global tells you. There's a sign of big thaw in the India-US relationship. Progress on trade deal as Donald Trump comes out with a big hint on the possibility of trade negotiations. This comes after his olive branch last week when he said that the India-US relationship is a very important, strategic, comprehensive relationship. Israel strikes Hamas leaders in Qatar. Hamas negotiators targeted in the Doha strike. Qatar calls the attack as cowardly and reckless. Russian drones shot down over Poland as Polish jets intercept the...
We all know animals have feelings. They depend on kindness, just like you and me. So imagine how they feel when they're beaten, starved, and unloved. Every minute, the RSPCA is called on to save animals in physical agony and mental torment.
Live kickstarts, all eyes on Team India's first match. Big story on the show this week is Nepal, which is on the edge, viewers, and has been so as security has now been tightened across the India-Nepal border as well. It's been 48 hours since dramatic turn of events have unfolded in Nepal. 19 people have been dead so far. It started out as a protest by youngsters, by youth. Gen Z is the name of the group. They said that they have a problem with the corruption in the country and they came out on the streets because they felt that their social media applications were blocked and that was the right to free speech being crushed. Then it quickly engulfed into something much more. And what has happened is KP Sharma Oli's government has collapsed. There's anarchy on the streets in Nepal as government buildings have been torched, flights have been suspended. More importantly, former prime ministers are being and their families are under attack. Ministers are being chased and thrashed. Yes, that is what is happening on the streets in Nepal. The army has taken over and is now in charge of major security ops, including Kathmandu's airport, parliament complex. Prime Minister has resigned, but tensions remain. In the latest that's coming in, there's been now an indefinite curfew that has been put in place. even as soldiers now have to ensure that things do not go out of control. They already have. Wife of former Prime Minister was killed after protesters set their house on fire. Violent mobs are now attacking Finance Minister to the streets. Those are visuals that are shocking and also tell you exactly how volatile the situation is. My colleagues are on ground in Nepal covering every aspect of this. I'm going to first play out some of those ground reports and then come back and talk more about why this matters to India at so many levels. It impacts India and what about India's neighborhood. But first up, let's quickly also tell you that as far as all border states that share their border with Nepal are now under intense scrutiny, higher surveillance and more social media monitoring, even as things continue to remain fluid. Take a look at this ground report that's been filed by my colleague Aditya Rajkal from the ground.
NDTV has reached the residence of the Deputy Prime Minister of Nepal, Prakash Man Singh. He was a senior leader of the Nepali Congress as well. And you can see the kind of devastation that is happening at his residence at a very popular Tamil area of Kathmandu in Nepal. These are charred vehicles, multiple vehicles. I can spot, in fact, at least 4 to 5 vehicles that are completely charred and burnt here, parked in the compound of his residence here in Tamil of Kathmandu. We're being told that, day before yesterday, early morning at 3 a.m., he has already fled his Kathmandu home because he knew the circumstances are getting out of hand. You can see this is the, palatial building where, the family did reside and stayed. In fact, you can see there is, some area that is still burning out here. The entire house has been completely gutted and destroyed. If we walk a little further, apart from these vehicles, this is the entry to the residence of the Deputy Prime Minister Prakash Man Singh, which is completely, burnt, as you can see, completely destroyed. At one point in time, just about 36 hours ago, this would have been a palatial bungalow in the heart of Kathmandu in Tamil, but now it's completely destroyed. This is the fate of the KP Sharma Oli government and the Communist government and the Nepali Congress leaders who have faced devastation all across in this entire area. Ji? So I'm being told that still things are burning to not touch anything because it could be dangerous. So you can see multiple vehicles completely charged, the compound completely burnt, and this is one such example of the devastation that has happened, not just in government buildings, the symbols of the power of KP Sharma Oli, but also several leaders, several ministers of different political parties here in Nepal. Nepal is seeing now a democratic transition. It has already seen over the last 3 days youth uprising. We've seen the Nepal Parliament building completely burned and charred, the Supreme Court, the Prime Minister's residence, and several other locations. The Deputy Prime Minister's residence here, where I'm standing, is completely devastated. Currently, the Deputy Prime Minister and his family members are at an unknown location, at a safe location. But even as the army takes control of the security situation and the youth uprising's victory happens against corruption, what will be the future of Nepal? Who will take control? Will there be a democratic transition, or will there be a new Council of Ministers appointed to take care of the restoration of democracy? Reporting from Kathmandu in Nepal with video journalist Prem Singh, this is Aditya Rajkal for NDTV.
India has come out with its fair set of advisories from travel to also ensuring that it keeps a very close watch on the India-Nepal border. But now let's quickly tell you, viewers, why what is happening in Nepal is unfortunately looking like part of a broader pattern. On your screens are some of those pointers of how things have unraveled in the Indian neighborhood, the subcontinent, in the last 4 years. First in Myanmar. In 2021, you had the military junta taking control over after chaos had happened on the streets. India also has a very long and a very important aspect in terms of the India-Myanmar relationship, and what happens in Myanmar impacts the entire northeast for India. So that instability has continued. There's an expectation of an election this year that New Delhi has been pushing Myanmar to continue on. Next up, 2022, you had the Colombo issue. In fact, the world saw the instability that engulfed Sri Lanka. The president at that time, Gotabaya Rajapakse, was ousted. He fled, and unfortunately, there were similar dramatic scenes of mob finding its way inside the presidential palace, taking parts of his furniture, parts of his tea sets as well, as he flew out on a military helicopter, saving his life. It happened after COVID because there was complete bankruptcy, and the people of Sri Lanka felt that the Rajapaksas had cheated them, and that is the reason that they fell into bankruptcy. Sri Lanka has just recovered. There's been an election last year, but it continues to have that financial strain. Next up, Pakistan, 2023. Imran Khan was ousted. Army took over via proxy. There was those elections. Elections in Pakistan are never fair. They are never democratic. It's always the army deciding which puppet it wants to support. But they supported Imran Khan the last time around. But in 2023, he actually did have support. The groundswell was in favor of Imran Khan, which upset the ISI and the army, which is why they propped up the Sharifs. And you have Shahbaz Sharif as the prime minister. That added to the instability because people who still are supporters of Imran Khan have been asking for him to be released, and that instability remains. Next up, 2024. What happened in Bangladesh really had a massive impact in terms of the India-Bangladesh relationship, Bangladesh-Pakistan relationship, India's northeast being exposed to massive instability, and the fact that radical Islamists have been mainstreamed in Bangladesh. Hindu minorities have been under tremendous attack. One of the most prominent voices of the Hindu minority community, Chinmay Krishnadas, has been behind bars since last year in November, facing sedition charges. And lastly, of course, what has unraveled in Nepal is you have the Gen Z uprising suddenly in 24 hours coming on the streets and taking over Nepal. So as you can see, India now lives under a very volatile neighborhood, and all these incidents, one needs to connect them to identify that there is a pattern, possibly a pattern to this, and New Delhi needs to have a response to that in coming days. All right, let's now come back and tell you in terms of what's happening in Nepal, why it matters, and the many levels at which this is so important as far as Nepal is concerned. In Hindi, if you say there is a roti beti rishta that Nepal has with India, which is we break bread with people of Nepal, we have marital ties with people of Nepal. A lot of Indians have their relations, marital relations with those in Nepal, likewise, particularly in UP, Bihar, parts of Uttarakhand and others. And that is the civilizational, cultural, historical connect that people of India and Nepal have. And that is just part of why this is so important. In addition, there are these borders that India and Nepal have, which are very friendly borders. They're not hostile borders, which require those massive amount of garrisoning that you do in terms of what happens with Pakistan or even Bangladesh for that matter. So that tells you that how this impacts India. India's security risks have heightened, particularly in our border states. Instability will have an impact in terms of the cross-border trade. There are also shared rivers. As far as the entire regional development, that could have an impact. And the vacuum also does invite deeper Chinese influence. China has actually had a very significant influence in Nepal in the last 10 years. KP Sharma Oli was known to have a huge China bent. He spoke about Lipu Lake several times. He picked that up as an issue against India again and again. He may have gone, that thought hasn't gone, and China will use this opportunity to build on that vacuum. Let's get in our guests joining me on this edition, Rishi Gupta as well as Major General Binod Basnayar. Thank you so much, both of you, for speaking to me. And let me start with you, General Binod, in terms of how things are looking right now. India has been very carefully evaluating this because this impacts us at many levels, from the cultural, civilizational, historical connect to also the instability and the geopolitical ramifications it has. How do you see this, General Binod, sitting there in Kathmandu? How do you see this now in terms of the India-Nepal relationship?
I think thank you for having me in the show, but I think you correctly brought out about the Nepal-India relations as a very close and cordial relations where we interact in many things. Looking at what has happened in the Kathmandu, the Gen Z peaceful protest, I mean, and the India and the Ministry of Foreign External Affairs press release that has come out has shown the closeness for freedom and democracy we both nations believe in. And our concerns, both Kathmandu and Delhi's concerns about the prosperity and stability of both of Nepal. But when you are talking about comparing the regions of the Southern Asia, though we have there are similarities of what happened in Dhaka, what happened in Colombo, and a little bit in Pakistan. I don't see any similarities of what has happened in Myanmar. It was a complete military takeover, which is very different in Nepal.
Pointing to our viewers the volatility. That's it. There are no similarities between Bangladesh and Nepal. We wouldn't want that at all. But I'm just saying the volatility for India's neighborhood. That's all I was pointing out. But go ahead, finish your point.
All right. And so what I was trying to bring out is, I mean, there are problems here, but this protest did not come as a surprise. I mean, it was an ignorance. There were lots of protests at the beginning, starting of the year. 2025 alone had 3 protests, and which the political elites and the main political parties were very reluctant in addressing the national security challenges and the national challenges that Nepal was facing for its long-term stability. So this is what brought the Gen Z on the streets and how they have become successful. Now the only path is we have it's a constitutional vacuum that we're having. So we have to address, before it reaches a crisis, we have to be able, the government, the army, and the president's office has to be able to address it properly with the interim settlement, with an interim setup, and bringing back the law and order situation into back in track.
Let's get in a word from Rishi as well. Rishi Gupta, Assistant Director at the Asia Society Policy Institute. Rishi, how do you see the India-Nepal relationship, and how do you evaluate how New Delhi would be now focused on in terms of the insecurity, the instability, the volatility that is coming out of Nepal?
Thank you for having me. I think it's a very timely question. I would say when Prime Minister Modi went to Nepal in 2014 on his first state visit after getting elected in August 2014, the first thing that he was addressing the joint session of the parliament, and he said, if there are tremors in Nepal, they get felt in India as well. I think that sums up the situation that we are in right now. We have an open border. Certainly that's been really like, it's seen as a very, great unique thing between the two countries, because it facilitates the movement of people. As you said, roti beti ka relationship, and roti beti ka relationship does not require a visa, and that's how you don't have a visa or passport regime. Rather, an open border exists, and that facilitates people's movement freely. Coming back to what India can do right now, I would say India has been one of the key peace facilitators in Nepal. Back in the history, in past 70 years of Nepal's modern political history, you would see that India on several occasions has intervened, but not in terms of any military intervention or any other sort of interventions that India... So India has avoided those kind of things. Rather, India has been in the consultative format. So when there was a problem during the Panchayat era, from 70s to 90s, India was obviously there to support the people as well as the monarchy. At the same time, during the Maoist period, Maoist insurgency, India was helping the Nepalese in terms of providing assistance, and also mind the ties between the two militaries, the Indian army and the Nepalese army, have been the strongest.
That's correct.
So two institutions have been the most stable institution in both the countries. So I think whenever there is a problem, two armies talk, two institutions talk, and I think they are able to come out with some solid solutions. But again, in what India has said right now is, India is saying that, we request people of Nepal to exercise restraint, and I think that's a very valid point.
That's an important point. And the other point that you made, Rishi, about the fact that the Indian Army has always been there as a guide and a support for the Nepalese army as well, is another very important aspect. I'm going to leave it there, but this is a situation, a story that we're going to keep coming back to, and I hope that I'm going to keep coming back to it. All right, on that note, a quick break. On the other side, we come back and talk about the other big development which has happened. The India-US trade talks, are they back on track? What are the areas that they will focus on? And how soon can a trade deal actually happen? All those details we get you after this very short break. Stay with India Global for that.
We all know animals have feelings. They depend on kindness, just like you and me. So imagine how they feel when they're beaten, starved, and unloved. Every minute, the RSPCA is called on to save animals in physical agony and mental torment. It's unbearable to see the pain in their eyes. We refuse to give up on them, but to rescue them from a life of fear, we urgently need animal lovers like you to donate today. Please call 0800 121 4260 or text KIND to 84903 to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. Your gift will help fund more life-saving rescues, more emergency treatment, and more gentle rehabilitation. Every month, you'll be helping to keep animals free from pain and sadness, so they can find the comfort and joy they deserve. Right now, across the country, thousands are suffering deliberate harm. But together, we can show animals what kindness feels like. Together, we can rescue them. So please, call 0800 121 4260, text KIND to 84903, or visit our website to start your monthly donation today. Thank you.
Popping to the shops isn't as easy as it used to be. Ages. That's why I love Wiltshire Farm Foods meals. They're delivered straight to my door for free, and there's no silly subscriptions, which means I get all the flavour. With none of the faff, so I can put my feet up. Well, occasionally. Why not give them a call or go online? Wiltshire Farm Foods, that home-cooked taste. Delivered.
They can make me laugh lots and lots and lots and lots. They have to write arts and crafts, colouring, diamond art. Their favourite food is chocolate cake. They should have lots of pets. Goldfish. And then there's tigers, cats and ducks. They should be able to do a Rubik's Cube as fast as me, which is in 1.27 seconds. They can be a magician, so they can magically make me better. They would have to be caring. Strong. Give me the medicine and let me go home. Thank you.
Significant step forward in terms of easing the India-US tensions that have started with a possibility of the two sides negotiating a trade deal. Prime Minister Modi said teams from New Delhi and Washington were working to conclude their trade negotiations at the earliest, potentially easing America's tariff onslaught. Replying to Trump's post on trade talks, where PM said that he was looking forward to speaking with the US President Donald Trump in terms of finding a possibility to end this. Now, how soon can that happen? Will there be particular areas where the trade deal would focus on more? And will that actually lead to the two leaders meeting at the sidelines of the UNGA later this month? Let's quickly now get in Jayant, Mr. Jayant, for more on this to understand what this could potentially mean. And in fact, we have Mr. Amirullah Khan, who is an economist and trade expert with us on the broadcast. Mr. Khan, how do you see these efforts by the two sides, and are you hopeful of a trade deal?
Yes, Gauri, it was coming. You see, even when there was this thought, seeming differences and this silence, it was but obvious that both the countries, two large countries that depend on each other for various things, have to talk. There is, however much you stand off, it is important for the deal to be taken forward. And see, the important thing is that for the United States, India is an important partner. And of course, for India, US is our largest trading partner. and a partner with whom we have a large trade surplus, unlike in China, where we have a big deficit. So it makes sense for both of us to talk. It was coming. It took some time and it took its toll on the exchange rate, on the stock market. But given that now it is clear that at least at the very top, there is an inclination that the trade talks will begin, then it means that further down, where it actually matters. You see, in trade, it's not so much the president speaking to the prime minister that really makes any difference. Not even finance ministers. It is really the trade secretaries who sit down and discuss the
Absolutely.
nitty-gritty. And I think that is going to happen. It will be interesting to see what sectors.
Absolutely, that is going to be
about.
the key fact. That is going to be
Yeah.
the key fact. I'm afraid, Mr. Khan, I'm running out of time, and that looks like the story here as well. Both sides
Yes.
are running out of time to really thrash out that deal. Viewers, on that note, switching focus and telling you about, well, the other aspect, shifting focus now to cricket, where India finally start their Asia Cup 2025 campaign with their Group A encounter against host UAE. This evening, the defending champions, who start as one of the favourites, aim to add a record extending 9th title to their name. We leave you with these shots as India get on to their campaign that starts this evening. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Global. Thanks so much for watching.
With Post Office Over 50's life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, your guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and from just £1.15 a week. Plus free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive a £125 gift card for amazon.co.uk, Tesco or M&S. Call Post Office on 0800 171 2211.
No child should suffer the torture of trachoma, but so many are in pain right now. Nananga's lashes have turned inwards. They rip and tear away at his eyes. Pomelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today. By calling 0800 038 4926 and giving £1 a week to Sightsavers, you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 038 4926. Text C13 to 82727 or go online and give just £1 a week now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
Sometimes it's the little things that remind us of them. Stay close, even when you're far apart. Send money worldwide with Remitly.
This poor creature is a lion trapped in a cold, bare cage, alone. Terribly malnourished, just skin and bone. How can anyone simply leave a lion to rot and die? Right now, there are thousands of big cats suffering the same torment, languishing in cruel cages, neglected, abandoned, left to die. Will you help Four Paws free big cats suffering around the world right now? Please call 0800 035 7798, text RESCUE to 70544, or go online and give just £3 a month. Help Four Paws cut the bars and rescue these cats from their prisons. Help us take them to our sanctuaries where they can begin to recover. You'll be setting big cats free from pain and protecting them from cruelty, letting them see the blue sky above and breathe the clean, fresh air of freedom for the first time. But they are the lucky ones. Please call 0800 035 7798. Text RESCUE to 70544 to give £3 a month via your mobile phone. Because if no one cuts the bars and frees these big cats, they will die trapped and alone.
You can see right ahead a huge number of people have gathered. You can see saffron flags all over. But amidst all of this, you can also see a massive security cover. From policemen to the rapid action force, all of them, of course, have made their way here to ensure that the peace is maintained, law and order is maintained. Most of the BJP leaders who arrived here condemned the action by the state government. They've gone on to maintain that after Congress came to power, people, especially from the Hindu community, have not been able to celebrate their festivals, with peace. And there has been violence time and again, or some sort of disruption that has come in. Amidst this tight security, this Ganesha immersion, event is being carried out. BJP leaders were here, a part of this a little while earlier. While all of this is happening, the Congress says that the BJP is only trying to politicize this issue and also play with the sentiments of the people and disrupt peace and harmony. I spoke to a bunch of leaders who are a part of the protest. Let's listen to those reactions and also what the Congress leaders had to say about the BJP's presence here in Madhur.
ಕೆಲಸ ಬರೀ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಜನ ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಬೇಡ ಕೆಲಸ ಬರೀ ಮಗು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಒಂಚೂರು ಕಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾನು ಆವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನಲ್ಲ ದೆಹಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೊಬರಲಿ ನರೇಗಾ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಲಿ ಕಾವೇರಿ ವಾಟರ್ಗೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಕೆದಾಟು ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಲಿ ಮಾದಾಯಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಸೇವ್ ಮಂಡ್ಯ in Mandya, mini Pakistan is creating. So when the procession Ganapati is going on, they are throwing the stones. I think the Congress government, without Congress support, without Congress government support, they can't do. Because Siddaramaiah means favor to Muslim. He told, because of Muslim vote, we won the election. Then they don't want any Hindu vote. They only Muslim vote. That's why they are doing all this. So I warn Congress people, I warn the Congress party also. If you do this in national level, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi gone, only Modi.
See, the Congress government, the chief minister, the deputy chief minister, the district minister, all of them are trying to get away from the responsibility. They are accountable. They just want to shift the blame elsewhere when the incident happened. Day before yesterday. What precaution the Congress government should have taken, they have not taken. Innocent processionists have been unnecessarily, stones have been pelted on them. They have suffered because of the appeasement politics, divisive politics of the Congress party. They are not trying to uphold the law and order. They are not here for a law and order upholding. They are here to appease. Since they have not acted strongly, they have not protected their lives, they have not protected the rights of the people. They have failed. We have come here now to save the people, to save their rights, to save their practices. We are here for a solidarity.
कौन पत्थर से मारा, उन्हें हार्मनी डिस्टर्ब किया. कौन पेट्रोल बम डाला, उन्होंने हार्मनी डिस्टर्ब किया. कौन पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद नारा लगाया, उन्हें हार्मनी डिस्टर्ब किया. कौन आग लगा करके दुकान को जलाया, उन्हें हार्मनी डिस्टर्ब किया. उनको मदद करके उनको केस वापस लाया है ना कांग्रेस ही. आप हार्मनी डिस्टर्ब किया. हम लोग अन्याय के खिलाफ है, न्याय के समर्थन के लिए आया है, धर्म के समर्थन के लिए आया है. अन्याय सहन नहीं करेंगे, उसके वजह से हम आया है.
Congress party and Muslim community, some leaders, not all, some leaders,
are targeting the Hindu workers who wanted to immerse the Ganesha idols. They have thrown stones on them. See, what is this nonsense doing? Say, when Eid procession was going, nobody thrown a single stone, and they are cooperated. Hindus are cooperative to everybody, but Muslims are not so. So that this government is also doing a appeasement of Muslims.
But the Congress, the Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister, all the leaders say you're here only to rile up emotions. You do politics based on, religion, and you're trying to, somewhere disturb the communal harmony here.
Actually, there is no political involvement in these processions. Okay. But the problem is, Congress is creating that because they are doing the political.
Now, while the issue, of course, in Maddur is sensitive, there's another issue in another part of Karnataka. This is the Malnad region in Shivamogga, where a couple of days ago there was Eid Milad celebrations that went about, and meanwhile certain videos have emerged of people allegedly shouting pro-Pakistan slogans. Now, the police, of course, say they have sent this particular video clip to the FSL labs to verify the content of this video. They are also in the process of identifying who these individuals are to ascertain if these slogans were indeed pro-Pakistan slogans. The BJP, of course, is coming down quite heavily on the government, saying that it is the appeasement mindset of the Congress that has led to a situation like this, where people think it's okay to shout pro-Pakistan slogans while celebrating Eid inside Karnataka. Now, I spoke to